Okay, this video is the start of the Lab 3 exercises. And Lab 3 looks at using the event viewer, using reliability monitor, using the task manager, using the resource monitor, using the performance monitor, monitoring the virtual machines, and using the network monitor. So we're going to look at first using the event viewer. So in this exercise, you're going to use the event viewer to view the events stored in the Windows logs. Because there can be thousands of log entries, you're going to learn how to filter those logs so you can concentrate on what you need to focus on. And you'll learn how to set up subscriptions to consolidate the logs onto one server. The mindset behind this is that traditional log files give an administrator insight on what a system or program is doing, or insight into any errors that might have occurred. The traditional log file is a simple text file, usually with a file name extension of log. In Windows, the logs are displayed within the event viewer, and the event viewer allows you to filter the logs so that you can focus on what is relevant to the current situation or problem that you want to look into. The approximate completion time for this exercise is about 20 minutes. So with that, let's get started. So we're going to start with server 1. And you can see I've already got all of my machines up and running. They're all logged in as Contoso administrator. But before we get started, I want to go to my HyperV, and this is always a good practice. Create a checkpoint. This way, in case something happens, and we all make mistakes, we can always go back to that checkpoint and start over. Now I've already completed labs 1 and 2 with these machines, and then once I'm done with lab 3, I'm going to go ahead and create a backup. I'm going to do actually backup via export. So what I would do is right click and click export, and I would export each of these machines and save them, so it really gives me a true backup. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm on server 1. We're going to click on the server manager, tools, and go into event viewer. The event viewer opens. I'll minimize this to get rid of the noise. It's a little bit bigger. There we go. So you can see that the Windows logs, we have custom views, Windows logs, application and services log as well. There we go. So we're going to expand the Windows logs. Here we have application, security, setup, system, and forwarded events. So question 1, how many events appear in the system log? And for this question, your answers are going to vary, but you're going to find that answer, again, right here. So in my case, it's going to be 53. So now we're going to click on Action and Current File Log. Oops. Expand. System. Okay. How many events appear in the system log? So actually, number of events is 44,198. Okay. Action. filter current log. In the event level area, we're going to select critical checkbox. And the warning checkbox. Then click on OK. And question 2, how many events appear in the system log now? So 44,090. So if we go back here, again, the answer is going to vary, but the number will be substantially smaller than this one. So now we're going to click on Actions, Create Custom View. And then we're going to select the last 7 days. And then in the event level area, we're going to select critical checkbox and the warning checkbox. And then leave the by log. Okay, now in the event logs drop down, we're going to go ahead and select it. And we're going to expand or select the applications and service. Let's expand this. Alright, so we have to expand those. And then we're going to select application and security. And system is already checked. And then we're going to go ahead and click on OK. And in the name box, we are going to type in critical and warning, and then click on OK. And here we have the critical and warning box that we've just created. So the next question is, how many events appear in the critical and warning custom view? And I've got 12,271. And again, the answers are going to vary. Now we're going to right-click System underneath the Windows logs. So right-click System and Clear Filter. And then we're going to leave the Event Viewer console open for the next exercise. Alright, we're going to add a task to an event. So for this, we need to, I'm going to minimize this for now, go into Server Manager. We're going to go into Tools and click on Services. The Services console opens, and now we're going to scroll down and right-click Print Spooler. So right-click, and we're going to choose Restart. And then we're going to go back to our Event Viewer. And we should now have 2 entries in the system logs. With an event ID of 7036. It should read as the print spooler service entered the stop state. Okay, I'm going to go back to the services. Only this time I want to stop and then start the print spooler. And I'll go ahead and minimize this for now. And I want to go ahead and do refresh. And we should see those actions come up. And we're looking for an event ID of 7036. It is 11:25. Here's a 7036. And if we come over here and look at event properties, the print spooler service entered the running state. Okay. And then what we're going to do (7036), select it, right click, event properties. The print spooler entered the stop state. So now we're going to click on close. So we're going to look at we're going to right click on this event and attach task to this event. And then the Create Basic Task Wizard page opens. We're going to click on Next. And the specific event is logged page is going to open, and then we're going to click on Next. On the action page, we're going to make sure the Start a Program is selected, and it is. And we're going to select Next. On the Start a Program page, we're going to type Notepad in the program script text box. And then click on Next. On the summary page, we're going to go ahead and click on Finish. And you want to take, if you're following along in the lab manual, this is where you would take your screenshot. And we're going to go ahead and click on OK. Now we're going to close the event viewer. We're going to go back to the services console and right click the print spooler again. And we're going to do restart. And the notepad should come up, and it did. So now we're going to go back to Server Manager, click on Tools, Task Scheduler, and we're going to expand the Task Schedule library and click Event Viewer Tasks. Minimize this. Now this task scheduler can actually be found on any Microsoft operating system, and there's a lot that you can do through this. Alright, so we're going to click on Event Viewer Tasks. Okay, and here we have the name of the event, System Service Control Manager 7036. I'm going to right click and click on Delete. When you're prompted to, we're going to confirm that we want to delete this task and click on Yes. Now we're going to close the task scheduler in the services console and then the notepad. We've already closed the notepad, so we're just going to close this. And we want to close services. Now we're going to create a subscription. We're going to do that through server 2. And again, I've already logged into server 2 as Contoso administrator. And we want to go into the command prompt. So I'm going to minimize this. Right click the start button. Click on command prompt admin. And I'm going to enlarge this just so it's easier to see. I'm going to right click and then properties, font, 28 should be sufficient. And then go ahead and do OK. There we go. So we're going to type in WINRM space quick config and then enter. It says WinRM is already running on this machine. It's already set up for remote management on this computer. Alright, now we're going to add, so to add the collecting computer name to the administrators group, we're going to type in the following: NET space local group space administrators and then server 01. Okay, so we're doing server 01 and then a $, and then at contoso.com/add. Okay. So now we're going to go to Server Manager. Tools and Event Viewer. And then we're going to click on Subscriptions. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and open the command prompt and we're going to close it. And then we're going to go over to server 1. And I'm going to open the command prompt there in admin mode. And we're going to type in WECUTIL space QC, enter. And we're going to type in Y for yes. And we're going to close this window. Go to the Server Manager, Tools, and Event Viewer. And we're going to right-click Subscriptions and create subscription. And here we're going to type in server 02. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and click on Select Computers. Add domain computers. and type in server 02. And then click OK. And we'll go ahead and click on OK. And we're going to click Select Events. For event logs, we're going to click on System Logs. And then under Event Level, in the Include Exclude Event IDs, we're going to type in 7036. And then OK. And we'll go ahead and close OK here. Then we're going to go back to server 2. And we're going to go to the Server Manager, Tools, Services. And we're going to scroll down to the Print Spooler. And I'm going to stop it and then start it. And then close the box. I'm going to go back to server 1. And in the event viewer, under Windows Logs, I'm going to click Forwarded Events. I'm going to click on Refresh. Now it might be that it takes a little bit of time for it to appear. So I'm going to try clicking on right click, refresh. So I'm going to check back with this later in the lab, but this is where we would go. All right, that takes us to question 4 and 5. So do you see any events? If events do not show, what Windows component could block the packets from being received by the collector computer? No, we don't see any events. Therefore, we should check the firewall to see if it is blocking the packets. If you reviewed the configuration of the source computer and the collector computer and you reviewed the firewall, yet you still didn't see events, what might cause you not to see the events? Well, events aren't necessarily displayed immediately. There might be a delay before they're displayed. All right, if you're following along in the lab manual, you're going to do a print screen from here. And now we'll go ahead and close the event viewer. on, oops, we go to server 2, minimize. I'm going to close this, and then close the event viewer on server 1. And that is the end of this exercise and the end of this video. The next exercise, we're going to be using Reliability Monitor.